Welcome back and hello if you are new. I hope all of you have had a really lovely week. Killer Be Killed stunned the world and proved that regardless of each individual's own successes, that they could create something truly unique when they band together. Now it's been 6 years later and they're releasing their brand new album, Reluctant Hero.
You chose to gamble, but I'm free to choose my side. Contemplate self-destruction, pyrogenetic people deviate. Malevolent.
If you're not familiar with Killer Be Killed, they basically bring to mind all of the best parts of the Dillinger Escape Plan, Sepultura, Mastodon and Converge. And I think that there are 4 very different but also incredibly key ingredients that make Killer Be Killed such a great band. Greg Puciato is the melody. He's the secret key to unlock that line of being memorable and really that sort of most fabled of songwriting genius, which is the chorus.
Find a way you'll never get a second chance. Fuck 'em all and only follow your own plans to get to your own end. Live as if you might never die.
Ben Collar is the energy. He's literally a fountain of activity, and there are moments where he really does push this band to the very brink. Then you've got Max Cavalera, who really represents the power behind the band.
The realm above, collision of the universe, cosmic lunacy.
And finally, it's all brought together by Troy Sanders' signature bellow, and he kind of injects this slight dust of prog to allow the band to kind of float off a little bit, but then always comes back to that anchored riff. Now, I've got to say, all worries kind of dissipated that this may not necessarily live up to the band's self-titled debut when I heard Deconstructing Self-Destruction. I thought that is an absolutely fantastic track. And the reason for that is a lot of it because of Greg Puciato's amazing melodies. As I said, he's that hidden ingredient that really kind of injects a song to get it to that next level. Wings of Feather and Wax is one of my favourite individual standalone songs ever. Every single time I hear it, that chorus just hits every single right note. There are some slow burners on this record, for example Dream Gone Bad or The Great Purge, and even the album's final track, Reluctant Hero, which is the album's title, has a very grunge sensitivity to it.
The pain of never reaching for yourself.
However, Left of Centre and the frenetic Animus, arguably probably the most thrashy and, really high energy driven song on the album, make sure that that sense of energy that I mentioned from Ben Collar is still there and often pushed right to the fore. There's never an oversaturation of any one member, and just when it feels like there might be sort of falling into that, they take it back. They'll change a guitar line or they'll change a vocal melody, and instantly you're kind of like, oh right, okay, I didn't expect that. And with that idea of alternating in mind, the band ensure that there are lots of curveballs and that there's a lot of variety on display here, particularly when it comes to the vocals. Like Filthy Vagabond, for example, the first verse is taken care of by Greg Puciato, then the second is Max Cavalera, and then the chorus is delivered by Troy. So again, it does heighten that sense of who we're going to get next and what's going to actually happen. Though as much as the record is very strong, there were some moments where I did find myself daydreaming a little. For example, From a Crowded Wound is 7 minutes long. I felt like maybe it didn't necessarily have to be that long, and that things could have been a little bit more punchy, a little bit more snappy. And there are a couple of sections on the record where this does kind of come back into play, but it's not enough to really bring the record down. Despite that though, each member of this band have their bread and butter. This is a supergroup, and I think it's important to remember that because they can kind of rely on those bands to, bring in the normal funds and everything like that. So it doesn't necessarily mean that Killer Be Killed has to be liked by people, but they have to enjoy what they're putting into it. And that's what I think is really evident on this record. And one of the best things I think about this album is that, you know, maybe you might not necessarily be familiar with Mastodon. You might be a fan of Soulfly, but you don't know Dillinger Escape Plan. So this could be the perfect springboard for you to go off and find out more about these other members' bands and really kind of broaden that horizon of what they're kind of taking. So thank you ever so much for checking out this video. I hope you got this far, and if you did, it would be great if you could give me a like and a subscribe. I am going to change things up a little bit and start off with something I'm going to call my back trackalog, which coincidentally is actually going to be starting with Mastodon. So basically I'm going to go through a band's entire discography and pick a single track from each of the albums, and it will be kind of, I think, my favourite track, what it kind of means to me, how it sort of works in the sort of concept of the album, but also the context of the band as well, things like that. So I'm going to start that off as soon as I can. I wanted to do it this week, but I just haven't had the time. Work's been crazy busy. We've got some really big bands that we're working with. You know, I'd like to see what you guys think, and if you're kind of getting a bit bored of the reviews, let me know, because I want to keep things interesting and I want to keep you guys engaged and happy at the end of the day. And also I just want to know what you guys are enjoying, you know, because at the end of the day, as much as this is my channel, I want to kind of deliver content for you guys. So other than that, I will definitely see you for another album review next week. See you later.